Good morning, students. I am Prakash Tripathi, and today I am going to teach you the second chapter of your book, The Vistas, and the name of the story is The Tiger King. The writer of this story is Kalki. Actually, this story is a satire on the conceit of those who are in power. Generally, it is said that power corrupts people. Those who are in power, they think that they are very superior than others. Conceit means the person who takes too much of pride in oneself. These people are very arrogant by nature. And see how the main characters, there are generally 3-4 characters, and there are 2 characters especially who are the example of those people who are corrupted by the power. The Maharaja of Pratibandhupuram is known by many names. Jilejang Bahadur, ACT, MAD, CRCK. In the first paragraph, the narrator is trying to say that the Maharaja of Pratibandhupuram was known by many names. But generally he was called as the Tiger King. Why he is called Tiger King? Because he killed many tigers in his life. But why did he kill so many tigers? Let's read the story and find out. In the second paragraph, actually this chapter is very long and it's not possible to explain line by line, but I will not let you miss any important paragraph or any important thing or difficult words or phases of this chapter. In the second paragraph, the narrator says that after knowing about the Tiger King, his bravery, anybody would like to meet him. But he says that this is not possible because the Tiger King is no more in this world. Yes, he is dead. Then he tells the time when this prince was born. Actually, a miracle took place when the prince was born. The prince was hardly 10-year-old, and the astrologer, the chief astrologer of the kingdom, was present there. And the astrologer declared that the child will grow up to become the warrior of warriors, hero of heroes, and champion of champions. This was the prediction done by the chief astrologer. And when compelled to continue, the astrologer came out with it. This is the secret which should not be revealed at all. After saying that he would become the warrior of warrior, he said that he does not want to tell something about his future. When people forced him, then he said that one day this prince would die. There is nothing special. Everybody who is born in this world is naturally going to die some days or other. But that time a miracle happened. The 10 days child, it was hardly 10 days child, the prince, and he started speaking. He asked the astrologer, Mr. Prophet, tell me the manner of death. There is nothing special. I am going to die. Everybody has to die. But can you predict the manner in which I am going to die? Hearing this, the astrologer was shocked. First of all, he could not believe that a 10 days child is speaking. And not only he was speaking, he was raising intelligent questions. Then after a moment of thought, he said, the prince was born in the hour of the bull. The bull and the tiger are enemies, so the death of the prince comes from a tiger. In other words, the chief astrologer declared that the prince would die one day because of tiger. Now the readers, you must be wondering that after hearing this, the child must have been frightened. But no. He growled, he roared and said, tigers, be aware. Now this is the end of the first part of the story. This account is only a rumor rife in Pratibandhupuram, but with hindsight we may conclude it was based on some truth. The writer says that this may be a rumor or some exaggeration about the prince, about his birth and about his prediction. But the incident which took place in the later part of his life really proves that it was not a rumor. Crown Prince of Jang Bahadur grew taller and stronger day by day. Now the prince is becoming younger, and he is growing very well. He was given all the facilities. He was in fact availing all the facilities which a prince of those days used to get. Now here the writer says in a very satirical manner that he was tutored by an Englishman. He was drinking the milk of an English cow. He only learned English and he only watched English movies. This was the trend of the prince which were in those days. It's a satire that they were very capable and they were availing all the facility which a prince can avail. As the prince grew older, when he reached the age of 18 years, people started talking about his prediction which was made regarding him. And it became the talk of the town that king is going to die one day by the tiger. And when the prince heard this, he called the chief astrologer once again. And the astrologer says that you have to be aware of the tigers as I have predicted. So what did the prince do? He went to the jungle and killed a tiger. After killing that tiger, he called the chief astrologer again and asked him, "Now, Mr. Astrologer, what are you going to say? I have killed the tiger." At that moment, the astrologer said that, "My lord, you can kill many tigers in the same way, but be aware of the 100th tiger." He warned him that in other words, he said that you can kill 100 tigers, 99 tigers, but the 100th tiger is a very dangerous for you. Now the prince took the challenge. He said, "What if I kill the 100th also?" The astrologer said, "I will give up my astrology. I will burn all my books of astrology and I will become an insurance agent and I will cut my hair also." So he took the challenge. On the other hand, the prince also took the challenge. And from that day onwards, the prince set off to kill 100 tigers in Pratibandpuram. Now a proclamation was made that nobody can kill a tiger. Even if a person living in Pratibandpuram would even throw a stone at a tiger, his property would be confiscated. And he started the hunt of tiger. In this way, he started killing one by one, and he killed 70 tigers, one after another. Now, when he reached the tiger total of 70, before that an incident occurred. Actually, what happened that the Maharaja or the Tiger King was in the danger of losing his kingdom. These were the days when India was ruled by the British government. Once so happened that a highly ranked British officer came to Pratibandpuram and he told the king that I want to hunt a tiger. But the king was very adamant. He said, "No, you cannot hunt tiger. And if you are not obeying the orders of a highly British rank officer, you might lose your kingdom." Diwan advised him that you have to face this problem. So after all, a meeting was held and the Tiger King and the Diwan tries to appease the British officer. They thought that if we give some beautiful gift to the wife of the British rank officer, he might go away from here without hunting a tiger. So what was done? Some 50 rings were ordered from Calcutta. The Maharaja sent the whole lot to the British officer's good lady. Actually, the Tiger King thought that the lady would take on 1 or 2 diamond rings, but the lady accepted the whole lot. She took all the 50 diamonds and said, "Thank you very much." The very next moment, the bill of 3 lakh rupees arrived and the king was happy. Why? Because he was able to save his kingdom. No doubt that British officer would have gone without hunting a tiger. The king is happy that I have saved my throne also, as well as my oath also. Means I did not allow the British officer to kill tiger. Now, when the Maharaja reached the total of 70 tiger, one day he called his Diwan and told him that I'm not able to get tigers. And meanwhile, what happened? All the tigers in the Pratibandpuram were killed. There was not a single tiger left in Pratibandpuram. So the Maharaja said, I'm going to marry now. The purpose behind getting his marriage was that he wanted to marry a girl or a bride from a state where there is lot of population of tigers. The idea behind the marriage was that every time when he would visit his father-in-law, he would kill 3 or 4 tigers. And in this way, he could complete the target of 100 tigers. So, a bride was searched where there were lots of population of tigers in that state, and the king got married. But every time he visited his father-in-law, he used to kill 3 or 4 tigers. And during this killing, many times the tiger king was in a danger also. Sometimes the bullet missed the shot, the tiger attacked him, and he fought the tiger barehanded. He was a brave, no doubt. But he was heading slowly towards his target of 100 tiger. Meanwhile, it so happened that he was successful in killing 99 tigers. And only one tiger was remaining. And in spite of all the efforts, all the officials were engaged in finding the 100th tiger, but the king as well as his officers were unable to get the 100th tiger. Meanwhile, some villagers informed the king that there is a tiger found. Seen, it was not seen, actually it was guessed, because the domestic animals started appearing very fast. The king became very happy, and he declared that the villagers who brought the news of this tiger will not pay rent or tax for 2 years. They were exempted from paying the tax. Now this is the conceit of the people who are in power. You are happy, you are declaring anything you want. But the tiger was not found even when the king stayed for many days in the forest where the villagers had told him. And then the king got very angry. He declared, many officers lost their job because they could not find the tiger. And when the king became very angry, he said that the tax for that villagers would be increased 3 times. Now one day the tiger king called his diwan and said, if you are not going to produce a tiger, your life is in danger. Now diwan started thinking that I cannot save my life unless I produce one tiger before him. This diwan had one tiger kept in his house. Actually, he had brought a tiger. It was a very old tiger, and he had kept it in his home. In the night, somehow with the help of his wife, he managed to bring the tiger, put him in the car, and left the tiger where the king was staying to kill the tiger. On the following day, the same old tiger wandered into the Maharaja's presence and stood as if in a humble supplication. And the next day it so happened that the tiger himself appeared before the tiger king. You can imagine how happy the tiger king might have been. His joy knew no bound. He was so happy to see the 100th tiger before him. In the excitement, he took the aim and he shot at the tiger. Now, what happened? The tiger was supposed that it had died, but in reality, when the king shot the bullet, the tiger was very old. It got scared And actually this time the target was missed by the king. The bullet did not hit the tiger and the tiger fell down. And the people started shouting the king had killed the 100 tiger. The king was also very jubilant, happy, extremely happy, and he declared that this 100 tiger would be brought to his palace in a very ceremonial way, and the king disappeared from the forest. When the hunters or the officers went near the tiger, they found that the tiger was alive. Actually, the bullet had not touched his body at all. Now they started wondering, this fact was not told to the Tiger King. Why? Because nobody wanted to lose the job. Actually, nobody could dare to say that Tiger King, you have missed your target. He would be hanged or he would lose the job. So what did they do? They killed the tiger and they brought the dead tiger, body of the dead tiger, to the palace. So in reality, the 100th tiger was not killed by the Tiger King. It was killed by the hunters. Now, the king was very happy. Meanwhile, the astrologer who had predicted had died. He was not there. Otherwise, the king would have boasted before him that, see, I killed the 100th tiger and nothing happened to me. Now, the king started looking and paying his attention to the administration. During these many years, he had not looked into the administrative job at all. He had neither taken care of his family also, but he had one son also. And the son was 3 years old. And this time the king decided to celebrate the birthday of his son. He went to market and thought of giving a beautiful gift to his son. After a long search, he could not find any beautiful gift, and then he saw a wooden tiger, and he bought that wooden tiger as a gift for his son. The wooden tiger was not prepared or made by a skilled carpenter. It was not carved by it was carved by an unskilled carpenter. Its surface was rough. Tiny slivers of wood stood up like quills all over it. It was a rough surface, and there were slivers of wood, the small pieces of wood on the wooden tiger. While playing with the tiger, one of these slivers pierced the Maharaja's right hand. He pulled it out with his left hand and continued to play. But the next day, infection flared in Maharaja's right hand. In 4 days, it developed into a separating sore. It became a big sore which was not cured at all, and it spread all over the arm. Now, the 4 surgeons were called from Madras, which is now Chennai, and they, after consulting, decided to operate the thing. The operation was done. The 3 surgeons who performed it came out of the theatre and announced, the operation was successful, the Maharaja is dead. They said that we have done the operation successfully, but we could not save the life of tiger. In this manner, the 100th tiger took its final revenge upon the Tiger King. So the author wants to say that it was the 100th tiger which ultimately killed the Tiger King. And this how the Tiger King met his death. So that was the end of the story, the Tiger King. I have tried to explain you each and everything. I have told you the message also. What is the message behind this chapter? It is a satire on the people who are in power. It is the satire on the conceit of the people, those who are in power. That's all. Thank you for watching it.